Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well. I am once again simulcasting on Utizzle and Rumble, and I would hope that you all would give me a thumbs up. And if you're on Rumble, hit the follow button. That really helps me out with the video getting around. And I got something on the screen there you all might want to get a screenshot of and put it on social sites where they don't take you down and ban you or put you in whatever social media jail for a week or whatever. Oath. Couldn't even say the word oath. But anyway, Georgie Porgy Soriosio, George Soros, that's his name. I can go ahead and say it because he's going to be involved in a federal investigation, if not a military one. Got himself implicated and a lot of other things. For our soiree tonight, I'll play some videos so people can get settled in, and then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
We want to remind the audience to please not talk out loud. Please do not applaud. You're just wasting time.
Voters in America should decide who our president is, not Vladimir Putin.
The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help. And that is pretty damning.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
The bottom line of this dossier, the bottom line allegation, the point of this is they colluded, they helped, they were in on it.
What does Vladimir Putin have on President Trump?
And they've also decided who they want to see become president of the United States, too, and it's not me.
Secondly, I found out that Vladimir Putin doesn't want me to be president.
We need to make it very clear, whether it's Russia, China, Iran, or anybody else.
This election, that Russia has been involved, China has been involved to some degree, and now we learn that Iran is involved.
As 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed.
17 intelligence agencies said.
50 national security officials who served in Republican information in administration have said that Donald is unfit to be the commander-in-chief.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
And that's exactly what.
Is this where you're going? This is where he's going.
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin.
I don't understand why this president is unwilling to take on Putin when he's actually paying bounties to kill American soldiers in Afghanistan.
When Russia puts bounties on the heads of our soldiers in Afghanistan.
That Russia had bounties on the heads.
On the heads of American soldiers.
There are several factors that contributed to the low to moderate confidence in the judgment, including the difficulty of
The big lie. The big lie. Do I want to play my standard video of Joe wondering when the storm is coming? Why not? I might as well. Let's see, where's he at? Haha, here he is.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking
about. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close
political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and agent. Enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. We're finally at the point where we're seeing names that you and I and everybody else in the chats, everybody else that has been following us for the past damn near 10 years, we've been saying their names at great risk to ourselves as far as being able to post on social media. And now it's finally pouring out into the public realm. And they're doing their best to deflect and get people to worry about Epstein. But they're stepping in their own doo-doo with that. And that's just fine, too. We'll let them step in it. Because the only way we know is transparency and prosecutions and also the military. So, yeah, it's all coming together, and it's going to pick up the pace. By the time you get one bit of news, something else has tumbled out onto the main street of mainstream media, and we're watching who's ignoring it and who's keeping up with it, because there are going to be certain entities in the mainstream media that's going to be complicit in this seditious conspiracy, this violation of RICO, racketeering corrupt influence organizations. So we'll just watch it as it goes. Hi, Sissy, how you doing? Colette, Miss Mendersu, Benjamin. Haha, nice to see you. Let's see, Colette's here. Kim, nice to see you. Damon. Haha. Let's see. Oh, I want to thank Mike and Bev. I see Miss Mendersu put up a cup of coffee. Mike and Bev for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee, closing out the last week of the month, along with Sharon and Wayne this week. That's the coffee gang, the coffee crowd, I'll put it that way. Brush, how you doing? Whoa, wow, there go my chats jumping around on me right when I'm reading people's names off. Linda, nice to see you. Rubber Toe. Jackie, nice to see you. Ann. All right, I think that's where I left off. If I left anybody out, my apologies. I do my best. Happy Two Bears, nice to see you. Yvonne. Todd's here. Sandman. Sherry. All right. You didn't get a notification. Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, sometimes you got to resubscribe and hit your notification bell. Who is this woman? Who is this woman? Julianne Smith. I didn't get a chance to go over. See if that came up in the posts. So I'm going to call that the board. Okay? The board. And you all know what I mean. although we haven't, although we've got a lot of freedom now to say words that we couldn't say because they've already been spoken by the president. They've been spoken by high-level individuals in our government, and they can't censor. Otherwise, hey, what are you all doing? You all trying to contribute to this conspiracy? So anyway, but even though with all that being said, I can't say the 17th letter just yet, but watch for it to come. Just like I said, watch for Devin Nunes to get activated. Just like watch for Virginia Giuffre to be in. The media is going to be forced to ask questions about it. People are going to be forced to. What happened with her? She committed suicide? And a lot of other things that we've discussed we know is coming. So we'll be able to talk about that more freely. But until then, I'll call it the board. I need to check the message board, because that's what it is, a message board, about this individual and a couple other things I remember very clearly. A post that referred to an action that had to be taken to prevent Obama from declaring fraud in Trump's first win. I need to make a mental note to find that post. And also, see if this individual or any other individuals that we're seeing named crop up. But this person was involved and mentioned heavily in they call it the Durham annex. Durham annex. Some people might refer to it as appendix, appendice, or something of that nature, but some people can remember the Durham annex. What's an annex? Well, you put an annex to a building. It's something connected to the building. It's an addition to a building, right? So the Durham annex is an addition to his initial report, which was classified, and we will see to what degree they will declassify that annex. This individual was apparently sending emails to Julianne, this guy, senior vice president. They were sending back and forth about driving home the Russia business. How they were going to manipulate the media, work with the media, willing participants in the senior vice president of one of George Soros's nonprofits, NGO, non-government organization. Hi. HRC approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russia hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. What do you mean Olympic? Making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue. Say something like a critical infrastructure threat for the election to feel menace, since both POTUS and VPOTUS have acknowledged the fact IC in intelligence community would speed up searching for evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. Oh, okay, so you better dream up some stuff, right? However, there seems to be signs. GRU penetration. Now, this stuff, Acrylic, 2.0 VPN, Elite VPN, Felix, and Mundovich, they appear hardly skilled. quote, as somebody called them. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and GRU will hopefully carry on to give more facts. So it's kind of a bumbled up message, of course, it's inside talking, but the bottom line is they are bolstering their crap, okay, about the Russians being involved. All that we know now directed towards delaying or blocking altogether Trump's inauguration. So, man, what's it going to take for people to see that this business has all been a lie? And then when they tie into that other things, like the scourge, I'll call it, the pathogen that fell upon us and caused so much heartache, loss of business, stunted the growth of children, social development, caused so much friction between families. So many people in nursing homes passing away. If that's tied in, boy, Katie bar the door. Here is a couple of the reports that have been going on. I haven't seen the rest of the mainstream media, but Fox put it out there. Emails exposed. New revelations. History. So it's coming out. My thumbnail. How do you like my thumbnail, folks? They never thought she'd lose. Those are the 3 top players. There's so many more. But I picked 3, and I figured Soros, Obama, and Hillary. Yeah. And that's what it boils down to. They've never thought she'd lose. Let me see what's going on. Anybody heard if anything else pops up? You know, how are they just going to let us digest this before something else pops up? Trump has been firing off letters. Here's one. I'll see which country this is to. Here's 2. And wait a minute. I'm going through the social media. Another one pops up. Another one pops up. Letters, letters, letters. Oh, that's right. The deadline. When America's going to start shoveling in more money than we have ever in history. But the last time was back in the news said in the 1930s, because they're going to work up this business of, and then they're going to have black and white video of people jumping trains to go find work, people standing in soup lines, people standing outside their car, for sale, $700 or $70. So watch for that to come up as the next step. But anyway, what's this letter to? Who's this? Christopher Boyles. Or Borner. Bristol Myers Squibb. Whoa! Yeah, we're going to get our medicine, most favored nation. Guarantee most favored nation pricing for newly launched drugs. Return increased revenues. Abroad to American patients and taxpayers. Yeah. Oh, you all are always talking about sharing the wealth, right? provide for direct purchasing and manufacture, I guess, net pricing, direct to consumer. That's the way it's going to be if you want to run a pharmaceutical in our country. And if you want to do it in another country, we'll just tear your eyeballs out of your head. How about that? You like that? Better like it. So, yeah, I was watching these letters fly through, and I didn't read them, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This one's about, what's this one about? Let's see. Oh, I might have got this twice. Yeah, I got this twice. No, it's to another pharmaceutical bunch. But anyway. You know, that's what happens when Trump puts out stuff and the media doesn't report on it. What? You got to go find out from Trump what's going on. He's been his own, source of media, because we definitely don't have anybody we can rely on. Yeah, this is Bristol Myers Squibb. That's the one I read the first time. But anyway, so you got letters going out to pharmaceutical countries. That's going to impact the Obama bill nationalized a third of our economy. A third. They say nationalize is a nice way of saying communified it, communized our system. And he's decommunizing it, along with the tariffs that are going to hit. Benjamin, you're a lucky man. You don't take any medication. Who's been messing with me, Miss Sue? Can you all hear me? Oh, gosh, I thought my mic was off for a minute. Hi, Rebecca. Oh, it's cutting out all my words. Roland, nice to see you. How long has it been cutting out of my words? I see people dropping out. They released what happened with Hulk Hogan. The official cause of death was a heart attack, said the medical examiner. I hope I'm coming through clear now. And, you know, I was watching videos about when he passed away, and I had a point in time in my life, a little bit over 10 years ago, where friends and customers were just passing away right and left. And what they described with Hulk Hogan was he was up on the second floor, I believe, and in a gym, and they just heard him hit the floor. And that was it. He hit the floor, and it was over. He was probably unconscious before he hit the ground. And that is exactly the way a couple of times it was described to me about some of my friends. I had one friend who was sitting in an easy chair and had to put the newspaper down, laid the newspaper down across his chest and put his head back to take a nap, and that was it. Had another guy that his wife made him a tomato sandwich. He was sitting there watching TV, and he had a tray in his lap and a sandwich on his lap. On his tray. And he never touched it. I think it was about a half a dozen stories like that. They say it's like flicking a light switch. Just that quick. So, in a way, I told a story a long time ago where my good friend who lived to be in his late 90s, his sister was in her 80s and he was in his 80s, and he got word that she passed away. She was going to get the mail. She was reading the mail while she was coming up the walkway, and that was it. She just fell over in the grass, and that was it. And he said, "What a beautiful way to go." I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that, because I was with him when he was told. And you could see the shock on his face. And he was quiet for about a minute. And he just said, "What a beautiful way to go." Just to go. So, it's all a matter of perspective. I guess when I'm in my 80s or 90s, I may have the same notion. But anyway, so that's what's happened to the hoaxster. Not that anybody ever said there was anything nefarious. Anyway, I looked up Soros because I want to see if I can get a picture that I could use in my thumbnail. It's about him. An American investor and philanthropist. How many citizenships do you think he has? He's at least a dual citizen, wouldn't you say? Which I look at with great disdain personally. Age 94. 94 years old. Net worth $7.2 billion US dollars. Overview. George Soros is a Hungarian-born investor, philanthropist, and author who has donated over $32 billion to support democracy and human rights. That's a joke. Wikipedia has to do something about who goes in and piddles around with these things. And when this game is finished being played, that description of George Soros is going to be quite a bit different. And he has actually participated in doling out, I would say, closer to trillions when you factor in all the money that has been commandeered from things like U.S. aid directly from taxpayers. And how much money do you think people like him make when you have something like the Hawaii fires situation in Hawaii? How many people are making money with these new developments that they're doing in Los Angeles? How many fires did they have in California over the last 20 years that people profit off of? You know, when there's government money flying around, people like him get their digits in it. And so do a lot of other people. Where's this guy? One guy got nailed. One out of many, I'm sure. Let me see. Let me see if I put it in my studio. This clown got nailed. $13 million. Where is he? Claimed he had a... I might not put it in the thumbnail. Claimed he had some kind of clinic. He was running out of Uganda or some crazy stuff like that. And he used the PP whatever loans from COVID. You know how many hundreds of millions were stolen from us using that so-called emergency? Is this it right here? Oh, no. This is more Afghanistan. All these college kids running around with the dish rags on, saying, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Well, how about the Taliban? Bans women in Afghanistan from hearing each other's voices. Keep pushing for that Hamas crowd and these jihadists. Keep pushing for it. You might get what you want. The Taliban has enacted another law further oppressing the freedoms of women and girls in Afghanistan, using a decree that prohibits them from praying aloud or reciting the Quran in each other's presence. The latest restriction comes after a series of so-called virtue or morality laws that were implemented across the country in August, laid out in a 114-page document that covered vast aspects of everyday public life. We should get that translated and found to every student in every college. Since the Taliban seized power in 2021, it has tried to erase women from public life, barring them from schools, universities, workplaces, and even beauty salons. I'm sure if you're running a beauty salon, you're subject to who knows what they do to you. Oh, man. And it ain't going to get any better. Here you go. Here's something to put on your meta page. When they talk bad about Trump, remind them that tariffs are going, for the average everyday person, tariffs are going to replace taxes. No Democrat ever offered that. No Democrat ever would, because it would remove their control. And Trump is offering it. Freedom. But you're paying taxes to the Epstein client list. Here you go. Babylon moves to officially recognize Mordor as a state. That coming out, of course, because Canada is claiming that they will recognize Palestine, which has got Trump saying, I don't see how we're going to be able to do a deal if you're going to be pulling that crap. So we shall see how that plays out. What is it? France, the UK, Starmer, and Canada. Why are they making that move? Hi, TJ. How you doing? Oh, you had a warning. I'll be darned. Well, Roland, I'm glad you took the warning. How about this creepy situation here? I might as well get this character out of the way. I didn't talk about it last night. I didn't have enough information. I didn't want to speculate. This is the guy that accosted and ended the lives of two parents on a hiking trail. And in front of the children. Devil's Bluff or Devil's Den hiking trail. All the more reason to do as we've discussed in the past. And what Trump said Americans are not ready for, but we're going to have to get ready for it. And that is quick trials and enactment of just punishment. No more of these 35-year, 40-year appeals with somebody farting around playing video games or watching TV or whatever they do, waiting. Because especially when you have, like I was talking about, that creep out of Idaho. I won't say his name. They look for glory. They're losers. They whatever, their sense of self or whatever from people coming to them. Why'd you do it? Tell us what you know. No, you're guilty. You're out of here. And fact of the matter is, you will see less of this. There's one on the run right now. I think in Tennessee. 4 people. One of them a 15-year-old. So hopefully this will, if anything good comes out of it, if you could be called good, it would be to get people to wake up and end this business of dragging out the punishment. I had a video on somebody that's going up, I think on the 19th, in about 20 days. If I come across it again, I'll get a screenshot and give you the overview. And it's another person that did what they did 30 years ago. We're here. This came up. Fox News, ICE has arrested 4 illegal immigrants in New Jersey. Convicted of child S3X crimes. Not accused. Not suspected. Convicted. Walking around free in our country. Not anymore. Let me see what this is. What is this? Oh, let's see what some of the creeps are doing. Midas Trash Pail Network. Look how they give themselves awards. This is the most vitriolic, libelous channel on YouTube, and it is the top program. Newsweek reports on Midas Trash Pail dethroning Rogan as a top podcast on YouTube. Have you added the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify yet? No, I haven't. You all take down people's comments and block people and everything else, and so they only listen to your garbage. So they've risen to the top of YouTube's rankings. And I showed you where they were picking on Ivanka Trump. And I'm going to say that it looks to me like you're going to be heading down lawsuit territory. Keep growing. Keep getting bigger. Keep raking in the money so you can pay it out. That's what I think. What's the other one that causes trouble? Let me see if they had another. I know they had another post up. If I come across it, I'll put it up. But this one here, now this impact. This is their game plan. It is sites like this that get the talking points first. So we know what mainstream media is going to start doing. This is what they're starting now. Trump is seriously considering pardon for Diddy. A new report So whoever's behind now this impact. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. If the mainstream news is reporting it, does that protect them? A source from the Trump administration reportedly told Deadline that Trump is seriously considering a pardon for Sean Diddy Combs. What does that tell me? Tells me there's either somebody with Deadline. Is that ABC News or NBC News? Is a liar, or that there still is somebody in the administration, which I'm sure there are probably a number of, like we had Vindman and a lot of other moles in place. Somebody's got to go. Still in the White House. Trump is seriously considering pardon. Who was found guilty of S3X trafficking related charges early in July. In 2012, Trump considered Combs a, quote, good guy and a, quote, good friend. If Trump does issue a pardon, it would add to a growing list of actions that undermine justice for victims. What the hell are they talking about? What is a growing list of actions that undermine justice for victims? Just like the operation to start the pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. That turned into an accusation, a rumor, turned into what they try to portray as a factual allegation. I want to show you all a post and ask you all, do you think this is real? Let me see if I can find it. One of these psychos on, wait a minute, one of these channels made a comment. I couldn't believe it. Talking about their teacher. No, that's not it. Wait a minute. Let me find it. Here we go. I'm not going to hide their name. They posted. Justin Thomas. And this was, I think, on Now This Impact. I was in 5th grade during his first presidency when our teacher made us realize Trump orchestrated 9/11 due to his raging envy of the towers, his seething hatred over the 90 nationalities represented from all around the globe who worked within them, and his maniacal obsessive desire to have the tallest building in New York. According to him, he was a 5th grader. We were all crying, trying to comprehend how someone who could organize such a heinous act could become our president. Our teacher even showed us a picture of him smiling with a bee owner after the towers collapsed, and apparently his secretary walked in on him, asphyxiating himself watching the broadcast of them coming down. Some would call my teacher crazy, but I'm grateful for her exposing to us the harsh truth at such a young age, rather than being completely out of touch with reality later in life. I think there are teachers out there that talk to 5th graders like that. And I think it's real. Just to give you an idea of the level of lunacy we're dealing with. I'm just looking at the chats. Yeah, who's singing like a bird? I don't know what to make of Sean Atwood. I watch him sometimes. Hi, MS Motorsports. How you doing? I mean, he seems to be, on point with most things that he puts out. Let's see, what's this? Let's see. MAGA wants Trump to sue Midas for our Epstein reporting. This was today they put this up. Somebody put, this is James, what's that say, do that? Hey, can someone get the message to Trump's teams? That's Ben Michlis on the MTN network is putting out that Mike Wolf has photos of Trump with many naked girls with a stain on his pants. And American Made said, have proof or expect the president to sue you for defamation and slander, along with the network for allowing these unproven accusations to continue. And that's the kind of comments I put in, but they take them down. But somebody's got to read them. Somebody's got to read them. So I'm not the only one letting them know. They're walking a fine line. They may have already crossed it. Just a matter of when they're going to get hit between the eyes. Here, ABC News put up, President Trump is continuing to put his personal stamp on the White House with a newly announced $200 million ballroom. Work will begin and unidentified donors, according to White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt. The move is the latest change making to the White House. Trump is making the White House. The building's famous Rose Garden is also under construction, with pavement replacing the grass. Oh, how true is that? And can you hear all the green beans now? How can you have a rose garden without grass? I'm sure whatever Trump is doing is going to be top-notch, first-rate, first class. I wouldn't rely on ABC News' description. The artist's renderings of what the new ballroom will look like shows it will be filled with gold trim. Yeah, you better believe it. Similar to decorations at ballroom at Mar-a-Lago. Here's some of the pictures they put up. Let's see. This is the interior. I don't even want to read the comments from the lefties. I mean, they're nuts. It's going to be an annex to the White House. That's a term we're hearing now. I guess this is these conceptual architect drawings are probably much easier to do now that they have AI. So that's what the ballroom is going to look like. From the outside, I say, great. I'm all for it. I mean, who cares what the left thinks about how things look? Just going to leave this pic from Beyonce Levi's campaign right here for those saying Sydney Sweeney with her blonde hair, denim, sultry look is racist. I guess that's the term I was trying to think of last night. Sultry. I said bored. They kind of have a bored look, some of these models. I am so tired of being so beautiful. They have that kind of look on them, you know. But anyway, yeah, they didn't say a word about that. By the way, as you all know, Trump wants her investigated for the $11 million. I got that truth in here somewhere that she got for doing nothing from Hillary's campaign. Also, the money from that Oprah got. Breaking the law, campaign finance law. I got some, let me see. Is this the guy that stole the COVID? No, this is another 40 men arrested. There's one of them in a massive Florida child predator sting operation. This came out today. County resulted in multiple arrests after deputies posed as children, highlighting the dangers of online child abuse. The sheriff is urging parents to monitor their children's online activity and beware of, and they're using keywords that used to get us in trouble, child grooming. Okay. Got these creepy. And they said it happened in 6 hours. Imagine how much of it's happening in these states that don't give a damn. Let's see. What's some of the posts from Trump? Let me find it. Here we go. Start with this one. Congratulations to Brown University on the settlement made with the United States. My post is crooked. Let me straighten it up. With the United States government, there'll be no more anti-Semitism or anti-Christian or anti-anything else. Woke is officially dead at Brown. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And what that is a $50 million deal. Don't forget, Columbia University has agreed to a $200 million fines for what they had allowed. And now you have Brown University at a $50 million deal. I think they're going to lose, and I think they're going to pay dearly for holding out. And they should pay dearly. Let's see what this is. Tariffs are making America great and rich again. They were successfully used against the USA for decades, and coupled with really dumb, pathetic, and crooked politicians, we're having a devastating impact on the future. It should say. But that spell check does that. And even the survival of our country. Now the tide has completely turned, and America has successfully countered this onslaught of tariffs used against it. 1 year ago, America was a dead country. Now it's the hottest country in the world. Congratulations to all. Yeah, tomorrow's the big day, folks. We'll see how long it takes to kick in. This is what the Democrats are doing to our nation. They are refusing to approve some of the best nominees in the history of our country. If we had George Washington and Abraham Lincoln lined up, they would do everything in their power to delay and disapprove. This should never be allowed to happen, and it has never happened before. This is what he's talking about. percentage of civilian nominees confirmed by voice vote or unanimous consent in the first term. There it's undeniable how they're singling him out. Why can't the Republicans get their act together? Biden got 57%. He's the lowest one. And the second lowest is Trump's first term, 65%. Obama was in the 90s. Bush was in the 90s. Clinton was in the 90s. George H.W. was in the 90s. Trump is at 0% of getting nominations approved. Well, he sent a letter to Chuck Grassley, which I believe he'll get a good response from that. Let's see. I don't know if I have that in here or not. Oh, this is about India. India and Russia. I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their... We have done very little business with India, and their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the USA do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way. And tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. They responded to that, but I didn't copy it. Just a bunch of talk from Dimitri, since I can't say his name. His last name. Jerome Too Late Powell has done it again. Talk about somebody that needs to be investigated. He is too late, and actually too angry, too stupid, and too political to have the job of Fed chair. He's costing our country trillions of dollars, in addition to one of the most incompetent or corrupt renovations of buildings in the history of construction. Put another way, Too Late is a total loser, and our country is paying the price. How often do they, because he came out and said he wasn't changing the rates. And I'll tell you right now, I remember another story about my old friend. When Obama was in office, after about 6-7 years of Obama, he said, I don't know how long the old people can keep funding this economy. I said, what do you mean? He said, they kept the rates so low for Obama. The retired generations are not getting any money for their savings. They're losing money, keeping their money in banks and money markets. And now that I think of it, Obama, the Fed rates were around 2% at the most, and even less than that. Jerome Powell's got it over double the highest he ever had for Obama, or the Fed ever had for Obama. Just like that graph he put up about appointments. Maybe he should put a graph where the Fed was at for Obama for all those years. Democrats. We hate capitalism, hot chicks, and the Jews. Boy, that's putting it pretty blunt. I'll take Beyonce down and leave that up. I should have got a picture of the Sweeney girl, but I didn't. Oh, here's one that got everybody all worked up. I had it in there, but I didn't put it up yesterday. Trump talking about Jessica Tarloff. I can't stand Jessica Tarloff of the Five. A real loser, DJT. I remember when she was first starting out on Fox News. She had she was on a morning show with Dana Perino. Well, and she had a notebook in her lap, and she was going over these talking points. By the time she was reading off the talking points, they'd already been debunked. And I remember her telling Dana, or Dana telling her, you might want to check, where you're getting your sources from. And Jessica Tarloff saying, yeah, I don't know what happened. It was one of the hoaxes that got debunked early. I wish I could find that video, because she really looked flustered and stupid. What's this one? Oh, here it is with Chuck Grassley. I was thinking that the Congress would go on recess and Trump could do recess appointments. We're not in recess. They're still holding up his appointments. And Trump put this out. Chuck Grassley, who I got reelected to the U.S. Senate when he was down by a lot in the great state of Iowa, could solve the blue slip problem. This is where Dianne Feinstein used to do it. Anyway, senators could hold back nominees for no reason. We're having, with respect to the appointment of highly qualified judges and U.S. attorneys, with a mere flick of a pen, Democrats like Schumer, Warner, Kaine, Booker, Schiff, and others, sleazebags all, have an ironclad stoppage of great Republican candidates. Put simply, the president of the person of his choice because of an ancient and probably unconstitutional custom that if you have even one person in the opposing party serving in the U.S. Senate, she must give consent, thereby completely stopping the opposite party's nomination. The only way to beat this hoax is to appoint a Democrat or a weak and ineffective Republican. Therefore, I would never be able to appoint great U.S. judges or U.S. attorneys in California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Virginia, or other places where there is, coincidentally, the highest level of crime and corruption. The places where fantastic people are most needed. Senator Grassley must step up like crooked Joe Biden did when he openly broke at least 2 times the blue slip scam. And like others have done over the years, and let our great Republican judges and U.S. attorneys be confirmed. He should do this immediately and not let the Democrats laugh at him and the Republican Party for being weak and ineffective. The Democrats have broken this ridiculous custom on us. It's time that we break it on them. Chuck, I know you have the courage to do this. Scam that has caused us to have weak Republicans, rhinos. Why wouldn't we have the people to back him that are true Republicans? Because of this blue slip custom. It's not a part of the Constitution or anything like that. It's a stupid custom. So let's see what Chuck Grassley does. What's this next one? Everybody's saying I was solely responsible for the firing of Stephen Colbert from CBS last night. That's not true. Late night. The reason he was fired was a pure lack of talent, and the fact that this deficiency was costing CBS $50 million a year in losses, and was only going to get worse. Next up will be an even less talented Jimmy Kimmel. He's telling us. Everybody's saying, who's it going to be, Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon? Well, according to Trump, it's going to be Kimmel first, and then a weak and very insecure Jimmy Fallon. Now then he says the only real question is, who will go first? I thought he told us. Showbiz and television is a very simple business. If you get ratings, you can say or do anything. If you don't, you will always become a victim. Colbert became a victim to himself. The other two will follow. And who put this up? I think it was ABC. Let me see. About people, here it is. People showing up to no, it's Newsmax. The Late Show with Stephen. Over cancellation of Colbert Show draws 20 people. What an embarrassment. A New York City rally to protest the cancellation of the late night host Stephen Colbert drew 20 people, according to a report. Yeah, I don't think people are real worried about you, Colbert. Put an egg in your shoe and beat it. Ha ha! Let me see. Let me get rid of her. I got to get her off the screen. If I take down that Trump post, you'll be seeing Beyonce again in her jeans. Not to say she didn't have good jeans on. Oh, where'd it go? Huh. I don't see it in here. That's all right. There we go. What's this? Jack Posobiec. Oh boy. Can you say, well, I think it's worse than even a felony. Office of, let's see, Tulsi Gabbard reveals the Office of Director of National Intelligence Staff was threatened to go along with Obama-directed Russia hoax. I know it's at least a felony. A whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by a supervisor to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax intelligence assessment. That if they didn't confirm it and go along with it, what was the threat? They get fired or worse? But they apparently got the name, and that person will be getting drug in for cough up some answers. Here's Diamond and Silk. Senate confirms pivotal Trump judicial nominee. Somehow they shoved this through. Emil Bove, the Trump-appointed nominee to become the next judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, was officially confirmed by the U.S. Senate Tuesday, despite furious efforts. Chuck Grassley must have came through then, because they are terrified of Emil Bove for whatever reason. We'll find out, I'm sure. Banking giants, this is from Maria Bartiromo. J.P. Morgan. I picked this one up, put up, because what banking company, you know the answer now, J.P. Morgan, was neck deep in business with Jeffrey Epstein on the island, right? Big banking giants J.P. Morgan, Bank of America subpoenaed over ties to Chinese military tech firm. But they were also tied in with Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein Island and the Virgin Islands and funneling money to politicians. Here's one for your meta. I like this one. The older I get, the more I can relate to Clint Eastwood's face. Yeah, I feel you, Clint. What's this? This is Diamond Silk again. Wall Street Journal offers to settle lawsuit with Trump over fake Epstein report. Already? And what about you, Midas Trash Network? You going to apologize or make corrections on your broadcast now that you're the top, knock Joe Rogan off the top YouTube spot? Now you're the big shots. President Donald Trump announced Tuesday the Wall Street Journal has offered to settle the president's lawsuit against them over a report that Trump sent notorious pedophile Jeffrey Epstein a bawdy letter. So, let's see. I will celebrate the day that some of these characters get sued. Did you all see this? What do you make of this? I could have figured out how to integrate this into other videos that are funny.
Senators voting in the affirmative: Baldwin, Blunt Rochester, Durbin, Heinrich.
How? Pocahontas, how? How did that happen? I'll have to keep that, figure out how to stick it into something funny. Her falling on her backside. Let's see. Chuck Grassley. Durham's Appendix 2 Special Counsel Report is finally seeing the light of day. I think you got to read it when it first came out. Thanks to my oversight, documents show Comey and company had intel indicating Clinton's campaign was behind fake Trump-Russia narrative. FBI didn't fully review the info and investigated Trump anyway, using phony Steele dossier. I think I have a clip of him talking about it. Let me see. Here it is. I believe this is it. Yeah. Transparency and prosecution is the only way. With the military.
Well, I think the smoking gun kind of dovetails in with things that Tulsi Gabbard has put out in the recent 2 weeks, and things that we had with the Crossfire Hurricane Annex that I released a couple weeks ago. Kind of all dovetails into the same thing, but it gets back to the fact that whether you have a Republican or Democrat administration, that there's cover-up, and we shouldn't have transparency, or the public's business ought to be public, and what the FBI does ought to be public as long as their investigations are done. Or if they aren't investigating, if they aren't doing their job, then it should be exposed, and this Durham annex exposes that.
You know, Chuck Grassley, I believe he's 92 years old. So, you know, don't think Soros is too old to feel the pain, if you know what I mean. He's doing pretty good for 92 years old. Now, I've got some of these appendices from the files that came out. But, you know, let me see. Here you have Hillary putting crap out back in November of 2016. It should concern every American that Russia is willing to engage in such hostile acts in order to help Donald Trump become president. Hillary's campaign, Hillary for America statement on U.S. government formally naming Russia responsible for election-related hacks. They were trying to blame the Seth Rich. Scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to a Russian-based bank. Statement from Jake Sullivan. Remember him? Jake Sullivan was the second person. The first person. Well, Durham tried to prosecute two people about this situation, and it was the first time he ever lost a case in 30 years. One of them was Jake Sullivan. Back-to-back cases. Statement from Jake Sullivan on a new report exposing Trump's secret line of communication to Russia. That was a lie. You all have heard it 1,000 times, but I want to play this for you. Let me get Chuck Grassley. What did I do with that? I want to get that one down. Let me just do it this way. Listen to what Hillary says. I know you all have heard it 1,000 times, but there's something key word here that she says, in my opinion. And she says it for a reason. And I think we're going to hear about the way she phrases it in the future.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah. Because you'd be in.
What do you think that I'm thinking is an issue? Her first term, his first term versus his second term. The word she said is, we're lucky that somebody like Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in this country. She didn't say, we're lucky he's not president. Because the fact of the matter is, just like he said during his press conference today, he couldn't do stuff, he told a reporter, because I was dealing with lunatics like you. It's a good thing he's not in charge of the law in this country. He wasn't his first term. He wasn't in charge. They made sure of that. They compromised his authority. They blocked him. They had judges lined up to do just what they're doing right now. We had insurgents and unlawful combatants in charge of the law his first term. Guess what? He's in charge of the law now. A very subtle choice of words, but very important. You're right, Hillary. He wasn't in charge his first term. You all made sure of that. And that might play into why we will see a Trump 2028. Did he really get to serve a term? Or was it taken from him? Taken from us. Here's that guy right here. Look at this. Look at this. They didn't say, I listened, that he served in military. Clearly, he's got a uniform on there. It looks like a Navy. Georgia man spends millions in illegally received money on mansions, luxury cars. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Atlanta. Oh, I wonder if who do we know in Atlanta? A couple of people. We know Stacey Abrams. We know Fannie Willis. 49-year-old Carl Delano Torjagbo, I guess that's how you say his name, was convicted of several crimes after obtaining a fraudulent $9.6 million PPP loan tied to COVID and filing fraudulent tax returns that generated a $3.4 million IRS fund. So I said over $13 million. Instead of using it for what he stated he would. Prosecutor said the loan and the fraudulently obtained tax refund to pay personal debts and expenses. He was claiming he had a business that was affected by COVID in Uganda or somewhere like that. Doesn't say whether he was a citizen, whether he served in the military or what. But I wouldn't be surprised if it bounces right back in the laps of the two people I was just mentioning. Oh, here's where Trump said, wow, Canada just announced it's backing statehood for Palestine. That'll make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada, what are y'all going to do, Canada? Let's see, here's Caroline Leavitt. I got this clip from her today. Let's see what she said. Been so long earlier in the day, I forgot what even the clip is about. Let's see.
The reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American.
Yeah, that leads me to, that reminds me his post about Josh Hawley. Let me see if I can find it. That's not it. Wait a minute. Oh, let me find it. It's important, folks. Stick with me. It is important. There's a problem with Josh Hawley. Here we go. Senator Josh Hawley from the great state of Missouri joined with all of the Democrats to block a review sponsored by Senator Rick Scott and with the support of almost all other Republicans of Nancy Pelosi's stock trading over the last 25 years. Before I read more of this post, do you hear what he's saying? Josh Hawley blocked a review of Nancy Pelosi's stock trading over the last 25 years. I've seen Republicans post on YouTube that Trump is mad because they're not letting Congress people buy stocks and all this kind of crap. No, it's because they're blocking a review of Nancy. The information was inappropriately released just minutes before the vote, very much like sabotage. The Democrats, because of our tremendous achievements and success, have been trying to target me for a long period of time. And they're using Josh Hawley, who I got elected twice, as a pawn to help them. They blocked investigating Nancy, but they passed something that is going to allow them to harass and go after Trump. I wonder why Hawley, would pass a bill that Nancy Pelosi is in absolute love with. He is playing right into the dirty hands of the Democrats. It's a great bill for her and her husband, but so bad for our country. I don't think real Republicans want to see their president, who has had unprecedented success, targeted because of the whims of a second-tier senator named Josh Hawley. That's pretty powerful. And I see what he's talking about. They put that bill in these holier-than-thou terms that they're gonna keep an eye on everybody who's buying stocks that's in government. This is what needs to be done. But they don't mention that they're bailing out Nancy Pelosi, running cover for her, and giving the Democrats opportunities to start another witch hunt against Trump. Where I've got a video of Trump talking about Nancy Piglosi. And the Republicans I've seen on YouTube are so stupid. They automatically say, well, Trump just doesn't want to stop. They can't see past their damn noses. Finger-pointing Republicans piss me off just as much as these damn liberals. But they want the clicks from everybody, so they do it.
From owning or trading individual stock.
Well, I like it conceptually. I don't know about it, but I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
Yeah, it should be investigated. But thanks to Josh Hawley, it's not going to be. And they're going to dream up ways to go after Trump and his family. So Josh Hawley had burned his bridge with me. But, you know, like I said, you got Republican creators that are so damn stupid. Dan Scavino put this up. President Donald Trump and his entire administration spent the entire 4 years in the White House. Russia, all 4 years. Many lives were destroyed over this. Meanwhile, it all came from the Democrat Party, who perpetuated nothing but lies to take down a man they despise and hate, Donald J. Trump. Mark my words, this will make him stronger, and support will continue to grow. To put him back at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, he put that up to say, I told you so, and he's right. He did tell us so. But now we're dealing with little backstabbers like Josh Hawley. And stupid, they can't check themselves. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Here, let's see. Jack Posobiec put up. Oh, this is about those people that got jumped and beat up in Cincinnati. Ridiculous. Cincinnati police investigating whether the suspects in the brutal mob assault were overserved alcohol. Oh, it's a bartender's fault. All investigative tools and techniques are on the table, including where some of these people overserved at some local establishments. It's the people who are running a business. It's their fault. Oh my gosh, you heard about this guy? Virginia GOP city councilor doused with gasoline and set on fire in the office. I got a picture of him, his Councilman Lee Volger. I heard that it wasn't political. This guy right here. We'll wait and see what comes out with this. I heard it was something, maybe a romance gone sideways or a jealous rival. I don't know. But then again, it could be political. I don't know. We have to wait and see. But, I mean, a horrible thing to do to somebody. Be a man and throw your knuckles up if you want to fight. Don't throw gasoline on somebody. Let me see what else is next. What's this one? Oh, this is about the flood situation. Texas County emergency management official says he was asleep during deadly flooding. That's not the end of it. William Dub Thomas, the Kerr County emergency management director since 2015. I showed a picture of him. He's an older looking guy. He looked like he was half asleep in his picture. Detailed his whereabouts during the crisis to a panel of 18 state lawmakers. Thomas said that after working a full day on July 2nd, he went home sick. He said at the time no concerns had been raised about an elevated weather condition beyond what is typical for the region during the summer. Well, they kept that quiet because they probably would have ripped him limb from limb. But the bottom line is, he said he worked a full day. Nobody put out any warnings. He went home. He was sick, went home. So I'm not reading too much into that. But if they'd let that out at the time, wait a minute, I already put that up. If they'd let that out at the time, it would have been bad for him. Let me see here. What's this? Whoa. Let's see. Oh, I meant to put this up the other night. This is a tweet from October 6, 2020. Keep this in mind, folks. This was 6 years ago. Because it's going to play in to upcoming arrests. I have fully authorized the total declassification of any and all documents pertaining to the single greatest political crime in American history, the Russia hoax. Likewise, the Hillary Clinton email scandal, no redactions. So right there you see Trump, a month before the 2020 election, as President of the United States, authorized the declassification. What do we have now? People defied him during his first term to interfere with the election. Kash Patel finds a secret room and thousands of documents in burn bags that didn't get burned. Remember what I said about Christopher Wray. I said he could be a white hat plant that collected everything, and the way I put it was he may have everything all together wrapped up in a nice bow to say, here you go. Here's the people that were hiding things. Here's the people that were ordering things, and he may have been the one that had that burn bag collection put together and told them, yes, it's been destroyed, and put it in safekeeping where nobody could find it. That's just my speculation, but somebody protected those documents. Somebody protected those documents. Kash Patel found them. Trump ordered them declassified 6 years ago, and the people responsible for their attempted destruction are going to be in big trouble. Bet me. What do you think, folks? If it ain't Christopher Wray, it's somebody else, a patriot in trusted positions. Remember that phrase, folks. Are my crickets going? You know, my hearing's been bothering me here last couple of weeks. I don't hear any crickets, Miss Mendes. Do you hear them? Yeah, Nancy's fridge. Yeah, she had the best of the best for that old bat. Let's see, MSNBC, what the hell are they saying? Trump fuming that Epstein distractions are failing. They're saying everything he's doing with the economy, the tariffs, rightfully calling for an investigation into Nancy Pelosi. These are all distractions from Epstein. July tariff revenues break monthly record. $150 billion collected so far in 2025. It's gonna be more by the end of the year. It's gonna be knocking on the door of $1 trillion. But no, they say it's a distraction from Epstein. Boy, they're really pushing it. Maybe what's his name? Steve Bannon will come out with that tape that Epstein did with him, huh? What do you think's going to come out from that, folks? What's this, Sid? What's this? Oh, EPA moves to revoke the legal basis for tackling climate change. This is monumental, folks. They have stolen so much money from us with the climate change hoax. The EPA is planning to revoke the scientific determination that underpins the government's legal authority to combat climate change. I mean, they're making moves for people to not be able to have fireplaces anymore, no more wood stoves in your home, no more backyard barbecues. All this BS, they're claiming authority because of a hoax. A hoax. The agency's administrator said the Trump administration's move would be the largest deregulatory action in the history of America. Yay! Because you got wash machines, your clothes come out stinking because they don't want you to use water. You can't fill up your coffee pot in the morning because of water-saving devices on your flipping faucet. On and on it goes with these nitpicking, blue-haired, skinny-jeaned freaks that get power. In possession of a video from Epstein's cell block that is not missing 1 minute. Have y'all, I got to see, I'm not paying too much attention to that. The Bureau of Prisons, as well as DOJ, have reported in possession a copy of the video. I'm not paying too much attention. 60% of this stuff is going to be hidden from us. He could be in Antarctica in a jail. I believe the spa being said 10 times or however many times it was yesterday talking about Virginia go free. I think that was a C-O-M-M. Keep in mind, Sammy the Bull Gravano was involved in 19 red rums, 19 red rums. And he's doing podcasts now. Yeah, he spent 20 years in jail, but that was because he committed another crime after he cut a deal. I know he said no deals, and there will be no deals. But if people can provide material assistance, they'll allow them to live rather than get what they should if they were true believers and against the Republic. People are going to spend the rest of their lives in jail, or big hunks of their lives in jail over this. So whatever happened to Epstein, I'm not, when the time comes for the video we got to pay attention to come out, we'll know it. We'll know it. Did you all see this ride breakdown? This was in Saudi Arabia. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the guy responsible for this. I don't know how they punish things over there. I know in China and North Korea, if you're the engineer on something that breaks down, you're in trouble. I don't know how they do it in Saudi Arabia. But here's a ride that went sideways, a carnival ride. I don't know how many people came out of that okay or what. Did you all hear about that? Do you know if anybody lost their life in that? That was pretty rough. I'm going to look to see if anybody heard. Hey, Graybeard, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Billy can hear the crickets. I'll be darned. Well, we hadn't heard them. The first time we heard them was springtime. I think the weather's set to change. It broke off, Bill. It broke in half. You can rewind the video and you'll see it. I know, Graybeard. I learned a long time ago, 40, 50 years ago, to stay off those rides. Spend all that money on beer, and next thing you know, you're puking it all up. Who wants to do that? Not me. Oh, here's one more from Trump. Let me see what this says. We will call the Senate and ask to change the rules to tell Thune to fire the parliamentarian and tell the House to shutter the Congressional Budget Office. Glad you're back home, Mr. President. I wish they would do that, but saying it and doing it's two different things. Now, I hope I don't get a copyright for this. Here it is. I hope I don't get a copyright for this. If it's gone on the replay, that means I had to take it down. But this was put out by the White House. I think you'll enjoy it. Because I was looking at Attorney Andrew Banka. He put up a video about this progressive DA drops charges on a P3DO kidnapper. This guy here, some creep judge, dropped the charges on him. And you watch Andrew Branca, but they were like, oh, he's got mental problems. Oh, look at him. He's such a mess. Well, put him in a damn criminal hospital. What do they call them? Insane asylum for the criminally ill or whatever they call it. Do that. You don't just drop the charges. But what I was saying was, I was enjoying watching Lakesh Jordan's one. Illegal seize burrito factory. ICE reports entire restaurant. Some more by recreational viewing on YouTube. So this was a video put out by the White House, though, that I think you'll enjoy. And what do I say, folks? I always say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. And if I can, I will go live tomorrow night. We shall see. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And thank you again to Mike and Bev for stopping by, buy me a coffee, and helping finish out the week, along with Shannon and Wayne this week, helping sponsor the program. I do appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come on and fly with me. Let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come on, fly with me, let's take off in the blue.